What's going on, family? What is going on? So as you can see, I'm making that change, guys. I'm making that change to GBP Pros, right? So it's a great, I think, time to start it. Um, we need to update that. So we got a GBP Pros today. So welcome everyone that's catching the replay, those that are here in the live. I know I'm behind on this episode today for recap Rising of the Titans. So once more, I just want to say welcome everyone to GBP Pros, the new and updated name. And those that are catching us on a podcast, feel free to follow us on the YouTube for a visual. And again, our goal for GBP Pros is twofold. One, to help you grow your agency, or two, help you get better results for your clients. So guys, today is just me. Wanted to just got back. It's been a little hectic. Just got back from DC. Um, DC was super fun. DC was exciting with the mastermind we had with Rising of the Titans. So I just wanted to give you guys a quick recap to, maybe kind of trigger you'll want to go next year, what you should expect, what I learned, kind of maybe give you some aha moments in this recap. So it'll go as long as it'll go. I just want to point out a few speakers as far as how my experience was, what I learned, what we can come back and apply to it. So Rising of the Titans, guys, it was hosted by Michael and Tracy. Great group of people, guys. It was a small event, and on purpose. I believe it was probably a good 30 folks there, with everyone's there. So it helped. If you were to go to an event to network, it definitely helped you to meet everyone, talk to everyone, bond with everyone, get to know a lot of people that are there, like on a personal level, right? Which was super cool and different for sure. Man, the venue itself was a penthouse with a great view. The weather was great. And then Washington, D.C., all the special monuments and whatnot. So, guys, the event was fantastic. It got started off with Tracy. She is wonderful, ex-military background, Dr. Tracy, and she spoke about leadership, guys. So, what type of leader are you? Not only in business, but also in life and your personal um, life. So it was pretty cool to kind of see the connection that she made. She gave us all a book to read, and being professional, again, personal, business, and self, and setting up your environment to win, and finding out your leadership style, and holding to that at the end goal of becoming a profitable business owner, right? So it was great. Leadership is not a destination. Leadership is a journey, right? Not a destination. So that's kind of a recap of what she talked about. I just say a recap, but it was pretty enlightening. It kind of brought a different kind of spin into these marketing events. Usually, it's SEO, social media, but we don't hear very much talked about when it comes to running your business and like leadership within your marketing, as far as from a business perspective, which was awesome to see. Then we had a mixture, guys, of like mindset, like Tia Marie, mind, body, and spirit balance, which was a different. We had a few speakers. We had some yoga speakers, different perspective as far as like self-care, and which was also pretty cool because, again, in business and marketing, I don't think we talk about that, to focus on our personal lives and making sure that we're the healthiest we can be, to be the best version of ourselves for our team and for our customers that are out there. So that was awesome from the event. It was super different, that that was covered, that I haven't seen in other events, which I love. A next speaker that was there was Elizabeth Samuels. She talked about branding, which I can't wait to reconnect with her. But Elizabeth Samuels talked about branding and in the branding in the sense of like graphics, you know, the feel, the white space, the flow of, let's say in this example that she gave was the website, right? Branding is more than just the logo. Branding is your identity. And I just spoke to Mindsong. This is something that the subject that we talked about, right? Your branding is your identity. Your business identity includes your business name, your visual story, right? Individually, it's like your personal brand, you know, who you are, why, and how, right? Who, why, and how. Who are you, right? As a company, why you do what you know, why you do it, right? And then how you do it, right? So it all, you know, this is a message that you want to, she talked about carrying on throughout all of your platforms, your website, YouTube channel, podcasts, everywhere. The feel, the look, the flow of it is definitely something that she referred to it, right? Knowing your customer, right? The loyalty, the how they feel, the emotion attachment. Branding must be the same again everywhere. She covered that. What type of customers, things you want to like portray out there, right? Is like awareness, the recognition, your performance, the loyalty, your advocacy that people have, right? She went down to the color, the font, the content, the color, the font, blending throughout your whole brand. She really dove into that, which, you know, sometimes as marketers, including myself, that's why I need to get with Elizabeth to kind of get all that down so you have it throughout the entire spectrum of social media, your website, your content, your podcast, your YouTube channel. And again, this is something even that like we had this same conversation recap with Brett with over at Mindsaw, which was, you know, very eye-opening. You got, and this is what Elizabeth talked about, the you can't don't confuse your clients or who you're speaking to. And I need to polish that myself. So again, guys, we had the yoga, different health balances for your personal life to become the better you. I kind of covered that a little bit earlier. The next speaker that we had was Brian Cato, right? Brian Cato, super cool guy, guys. I got to spend a lot of time with them. I went out with them a couple of nights, really bonded. Real cool guy. So he spoke about search links that work. It's the heart of SEO, right? We have on page, off page, we have traffic, we have let's see, on, off page content. Backlinks is definitely one of them. He spoke about how to leverage Google, right? The Google properties to create backlinks. One thing he mentioned, backlinks are not by accident. Either you can buy them or you can build them. So he went into that. Buying, let's see, building. So building takes a little bit more time. In buying, you have to get some quality. So the ones you build, you can build them, kind of deploy them through your social media. Let's see here. He leverages also and validates through social media as far as getting backlinks, creating backlinks through Google properties like Sheets, uh, you know, man, I'm drawing a blank. I want to say PDFs, but you know, it's tying all that together like in an infinity loop that you have that structure set up that so you can create backlinks with Google and setting up that process, that assembly line. So if anything, and that's one thing that you want to set up as your process of backlinks. So if you have an idea or if somebody talks about something that you can plug it into your infinity loop that's already being created and that is feeding itself, right? So you point one Google property to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. And then, so if something new that's working or somebody comes up with something new that you don't change your whole entire process, you just add it in that infinity loop that it feeds itself. So Brian talked about backlinkings, leveraging sheets, leveraging RSS feeds, creating public uh, drives and getting it out there like some Google apps, right? Um, let's see here. Creating that connection with your Google posts, with your websites, with your blogs, getting your name, address, phone number, all feeding this loop. And Brian really loves his sheets. And Google properties, building them. He's already set up, and they just feed each other through connecting, for example, your RSS feed through your blog. If you create a blog, taking that blog, putting it on sheets, and within those sheets, all the Google properties, right, with PowerPoints, the presentation, Google Sheets, Excel sheets, everything sheets, Google, and then building that, pointing it to each other, putting it on social media, sharing it, making it public, and feeding it into itself. Talked about LinkedIn, social media, validating them all. Let's see, I want to make sure I cover everything. He even includes stacks, putting that stuff up there in the different like cloud stacks, I should say, around your brand. Okay, boom, 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 boom. So really tying all of this. And here's another thing. I'm reading my notes here and it kind of blends into like Mike Marlino. One thing that this event covered, all the speakers blended into each other. Like with Elizabeth talked about Brian can pick up and then talked about his specialty. And then Mike Marlino can pick up where Brian left off and talk about his specialty. And then Dan can pick up where he left off and then talk about his specialty. They did an awesome job about connecting the speakers. So it's almost a stack that you can build on top of. And if you're having any gaps in your process, that you can plug those in. So that's one thing, because I'm reading some of the Brian's topics, and he did talk about the social media, validating that, validating throughout all of these, like I said, creating this infinity that loops within itself and feeding each other as you spread for your backlinks, that where you would put these sheets that you create for your brand, right? For your links that you would create, that you would put in these particular sheets, right? Nothing fancy. It was simple and effective, right? The minimum dosage of effectiveness. So we had Steve was our next speaker. Again, flexibility, um, creating the best version of yourself, health-wise and fitness, so you can present that to your customers, right? So that was we had Steve. Yeah, we had Steve. We had Nicole. Now Nicole was she runs her own business. She really talked about how can I describe to you? She runs a business selling through social media. She was a bartender that got fired twice from different jobs, and then she took a situation, invested in herself. She had a following within the bartending world, and then she created a seven-figure business within 13 months, right? And now she's taking that, how she did that, and showing others. So some of the techniques that she used and she talked about was, pre-closing your clients. Let's see, clients put their names, okay, making sure you're out there with the same message. So preconditioning your clients through social media, and selling your services through social media. Uh, Closing the clients first, 100K in 4 months. Clients have, okay. Now, one thing that she did mention is clients that money is never an issue, right? Money is never an issue. Um, Clients will come up with the money, especially if you have that solution, create that gap, right? This is where your gap is. I can uh, narrow that gap from where you're at to where your goal is, and then making sure that you have enough information on like social media with your client testimonies, with social proof. She really dug in there. Let's see, let me
I found this on the web.
Series here. So she really talked about kind of like preconditioning your clients, and also she creates this loop with email that she sends out to clients with case study, testimonials, resources. She uses giveaways. She has social media, podcasts. She really primes the customers, and that's her biggest thing in social media. She really primes the customers to know, like, and trust her. That's her whole thing that she does, and she doesn't sell low-end tickets, guys. It's high-end tickets. One of the things that I wanted to now keep in mind, one thing that she brought up to mind, I wanted to kind of share it. Everyone buys off because of either health, wealth, or relationship, right? So it's one of these three categories that either they fall on. Build relationship has to do with your wealth or your health. So really focusing kind of your message in the what goes through a client or a prospect's mind when they're purchasing your service. So that's another thing. And it really is the prime cycle is what kind of she called it, of getting the people to know and to like and to trust you through social medias. Don't feel like they're working. Okay. And setting up the machine, guys, so setting up a machine that overcomes objections and get to know, like, and trust you. That's really kind of like the machine that she's building. Um, and then why asking that question, why do you think this wouldn't work for the clients? If you ask yourself that, that'll give you the material or subjects to create videos or posts with. Why this wouldn't work for a particular client, answering those questions maybe a couple times, and then you can answer, you can create posts with that machine, the priming machine that she creates. So she was pretty awesome, straightforward, creating that desire, creating the story, connecting the clients with your brand, and overcoming objections through videos, through podcasts, to YouTube, right? So she essentially, hopefully, I was able to describe Nicole. She was super awesome. And that's how she connected, how she built her empire today. So it was Nicole. I really got a lot out of there. Hopefully, I'll be able to capture and translate in the stuff that I do. So if you take those things into mind, it'll head you in the right direction. Now, the next speaker we had was Dan. Dan is leveraging systems and automation. So Dan is his new nickname for me is he's a made man, right? And what I mean by that, he takes make.com to a whole new level. It's like Zapier, but cheaper. And he gave these tremendous sets of make on automation, prospecting, creating videos, onboarding. I would definitely would suggest you guys connect with Dan in leveraging systems with automations through make.com. He has all that down and help you out with that. So now I call Dan is a made man for sure, right? So he really dove into that. He gave us systems, ideas, everything that pretty much Dan does in his business is automated through systems. Again, we had another wellness speaker, Wendy. We had Christina. Let's see here. Holly. Okay, so the next day, this is the next day now that we had Holly spoke. She really gave a method through Reddit, right? Reddit, and she dove in there and really showed us how to dominate, especially your local area through Reddit. Um, I'll let you reach out to Holly, but she literally did it in front of us. And man, it got people thinking. I didn't know this, I didn't know that, how to do certain things within Reddit and the trust level and everything that came with it. I don't want to say too much on that. I'll reach out to Holly yourself and say, hey, I heard Alfred on GBP Pros talk about Rising of the Titans, that you leverage Reddit, and I'm sure she'll be able to help you when it comes to the Reddit and dominating your local market. So I'll leave it at that. Just know that all 30 people that were there, man, she got them popping. She got them popping with all these ideas on what you can do. And it lasted the whole night. The whole night we were talking about different keywords that you can dominate within Reddit and how to leverage Reddit. Our next speaker was James. James is one cool dude. Again, we bonded a little bit with James. We hung out, I think, all 3 nights. It was really cool to meet him in person. I talked to him through Messenger and whatnot. So James, he did like a tool review of what's working, different tools that you can plug in. Again, this is something that also got the crowd jiving depending on your niche, depending on what you were doing within your business. With make.com and the tools that James was using was awesome. Tropical, he talked about tropical, great topical relevance backlinks, generating image content. He showed us a lot of different sheets with AI on there, entity checkers, dynamic videos. He showed us some prospecting with PPC, relevant, finding who's running ads, telephony. Uh, so he got into a lot of tool reviews. And again, it got the crowd kind of buzzing and jumping, like, oh, okay, different people are different levels. He gave a lot of reviews with different programs out there that were effective. So that was super awesome to see. We had next, it was Brock. Brock was out there again. It was GMB, GBP hacks for 2024. Again, so let me just put it this way. The stuff that he shows, pay attention to Bing. You guys have heard me talk about Bing. Pay attention to Google Map or Apple Maps. That's one thing that's come up. Boom, 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 boom. Brock has a course out there with manipulated URLs. Take a look at those. Brock was giving some stuff away as far as checking your reviews, checking if they're still active, which was pretty cool. I think it's a useful tool. Boom, 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 boom. If you didn't have like a tool, I use all this local for posting reviews. He talked about that, the different tools that you can use. Citations, don't fall asleep on those citations, guys. He talked about that. Again, claiming your Apple Maps. Guys, go out there. I think this is another one I'll leave for Brock's. Reach out to him. He probably will guide you to some of his training programs that I think would be useful, that he talked about within the program or at the mastermind, right? So we'll leave that one like that. Mike Marlino. So, guys, Mike Marlino's message, it was pretty, again, we bonded. I think I got to know Mike a little bit more. He got to know me a little bit more. We bonded. But with Mike Marlino, what I liked about it, so you guys, he's about brand building for local, right? So brand building for local. And he covered, so we all know he talks about who you are, what you're doing, and where you're doing it, right? Those are his big, he does everything based off of, that's the foundation that Mike's does. So, you know, who you are, what you're doing, and where you do it at, right? Who, what, where, okay? Everything, so the who is your brand, the what you're doing is your service or your product, right? And where you do it is location, geo, lat, long. Everything Mike does, from citations, from social media, from YouTube, from images, from blogs, always kind of encompasses that. And it starts off of the brand. So the cool thing, it'll be hard to show it now, but that's why you want to go to these things, because I seen Mike at different levels where he just speaks on it. I seen him at I've only probably seen him speak twice, maybe three times with this one, and each one he shows different, like the one in Vegas right first, he showed his whole 52 carts, right? He showed his 52 blocks, right? If he watches this, he'll appreciate that statement. He showed it all. Sometimes he just talks. On this particular one, it was super awesome that I like, and that's why you want to go to these things, is he showed like a mind map that you were able to follow, like, I get what he's talking about now. What I mean by that is how to interlink, let's say your blog, you're interlinking, creating GM posts to that, and then creating a press release to that is connected to your social media. Which then you can create videos, then which with that video you can upgrade your images, and then take that to audio and create some podcasts, right? And you know, NLP, making sure that your keywords are correct, but it's covering audio, video content. He talked a little bit about schema, referral traffic, and then again, your name, address, phone number, website, all needs to be the same, kind of like what Elizabeth talked about throughout all of these areas. So it was super cool to kind of see Mike in action with all of these kind of like what he says, his foundation, right? What did I say? Who, what, where, and then building everything. It's not just a local GMB. It's not just your website. It's being everywhere. YouTube, your audio, your images, everywhere, based on who, what, where, you know, your brand, your service, your product, your location. Okay, so it was super cool to reiterate that message, but she showed an example, like a mind map, and how to put that together so you're able to follow it and apply what he was learning. So Mike Marlino's big props. So let's see, our next speaker was Terry. Okay, Terry Samuels. He spoke on upping your content game through 2024 with ChatGPT. So personalizing ChatGPT before asking its output, the tone modifiers, schemas, the most important part about schema he talks about, same as, I'm sure you've all heard of it, but Terry does have a unique way. And again, this is one I'll leave alone. Reach out to Terry. Let him know, hey, I heard about your Rising of the Titans through Alfredo GPP Pros. He does have two courses. One, kind of a self-paced schema. He literally said everything you need to know about schema. And two, some on-page, those are live trainings that he does. I'll let you reach out to him on that. Got to meet with him, had dinner with him one night, Elizabeth and Terry. These are awesome, fun, down to earth, willing to help people. I feel like I got to peel a little bit more layers on him. Great guy, down to the core. Love Terry and Elizabeth. So Terry spoke about upping. He gave some prompts at the event. So again, this is why you want to go to some of these events, because they do give out a lot of free resources that you can go implement right away. Okay, so Terry talked about the GMP, Chat GPT, the content game, and how to set up your how can I say, personalized Chat GPT to get the best output possible. So that was Terry. Mike. So this was towards the end. Um, he did sales, right? He did sales, and he really talked about not wasting your time, still being professional, having control. So he really kind of focused on sales and kind of challenged us. We did some role playing and challenge the way our thinking. We say we're sales pros. I can close 70%, but then you ask them, what's the last time you closed the sale, which was 2 months, a month ago, which is way too long, right? So Mike was super awesome as far as the conference and the sales part of it. So how can I say it? I want to give you the feel, the flow of the conference. Conference and information is one thing, guys, but being able to take it and apply it. And I kind of changed my method as far as what I tell people. So any particular method or any particular nugget that fits into you, they give you the information, right? Let's say it's like 10 steps, right? Guys, one thing that I noticed with the group that was there is they'll give you enough and you shouldn't really ask questions. Let's say it's steps 1 through 5, right? So steps 1, 2, 3, you kind of get, right? Steps 4 and 5, you got to bring in your own experience, your own noggin a little bit to kind of figure out. I think, let's say the initial steps where you're going to get stuck. And then I think the real questions will come in like step 6, 7, and 8, right? Hey, this is what I've done so far. And I think this will be helpful for the people that were there. I would say almost 100% of the speakers that were there were willing to help you, especially with things that they taught. But you got to show them you did the first 5 steps and you're stuck on step 6, 7, or 8, right? Like, this is what I did. This is what I figured out. This is the spot I'm stuck on. All the speakers I felt were like that. They're willing to help. So that's one of the feel that I got from it. The networking, I think, is also awesome. The small group for this particular event was awesome. Compared to other ones, like for example, spring training, it's a little bit bigger group, but the way Terry did it, especially this last year, where there were breakout rooms where you know what the topic was, and if that's what you were needing in your business, you can plug in and out of those particular topics, which was really cool. 2 days of that covered a lot of ground, plus the main stage. You were still able to do some networking, but I think on this one, it was really a little bit closer, a little bit tighter of the group. So you're almost forced, not only with the speakers, but also with under attendings. I feel like I met a lot of great friends. I think I met a lot of, it'll be like lifelong friends, that people that got to know me, I got to know them on a different level besides just the marketing aspect of it. So guys, hopefully I've encouraged you, like some aha moments, reasons why you should go to these things. Sometimes it's like Brian taught me, it's you go and you look at something and you could apply for its unintended purposes, like for tools, or sometimes you go to certain topics, and that's one thing I got from Brian and James. It was still within the same vein, but they were a little bit further out of the circle that I needed for my business that I was able to get at the event. James helped me with one of those tools. Also, Brian helped me with one of those tools, and just helps you get around and build friendships that you're not alone out here in this marketing world. So with that, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. I owed you this recap from my trip. I came back. I had 2 family members from out of the country, from Costa Rica. So I'm playing tourists a little bit and helping to entertain, not as much as I want to, but been like hit the ground running as I came here. With that, guys said, I appreciate everyone. Hopefully you found some value, kind of triggered, give you an insight of what I've learned. I've got a few people, hey, how was it? And so I wanted to do this recap. So for those that are watching on YouTube, thank you. Give us a follow on the podcast. Give us a like, a review on there. the Facebook like. Appreciate you guys, the shares and all that jazz that comes with the YouTube stuff, Facebook stuff, and whatnot. With that being said, guys, much love, much success, and I'll catch you on the next one.